Difference between the theory of Savigny and Puchta with special reference to will. Introduction. Both Friedrich Carl von Savigny and George Friedrich Puchta were leading thinkers of the historical school of law. They believed that law develops naturally from the customs, traditions, and spirit of the people. However, they differed on the role of will in the development of law. The historical school of law explains that law develops from the history, customs, and traditions of a society. Two important thinkers of this school are Friedrich Carl von Savigny and George Friedrich Puchta. Both agreed that law is not made suddenly by the state but grows naturally over time. However, they differed in their views about the role of will in the development of law. Savigny emphasized the collective will of the people, Volksgeist, while Puchta emphasized the will of jurists and legal experts. Savigny's theory, will of the people, Volksgeist. Savigny believed that law is based on the collective will of the people, known as Volksgeist, spirit of the people. According to him, law develops naturally and slowly from customs, not from the will of legislators. Individual will has no independent importance, only the common will of society matters. Law reflects the culture, history, and traditions of a nation. Savigny opposed sudden lawmaking and codification because it may ignore the people's will. In Savigny's view, will equals collective will of society. Puchta's theory, juristic will. Puchta accepted Savigny's idea of historical development of law. However, he gave more importance to the will of jurists and legal experts. According to Puchta, law becomes systematic and scientific through juristic interpretation. He believed that trained jurists help in shaping and developing law by their reasoning. Thus, law is not only the product of popular will but also of juristic will. In Puchta's view, will equals juristic, legal experts, will. Key differences between Savigny and Puchta, with reference to will. Point-wise in paragraph form, simple English. Source of will. Friedrich Carl von Savigny believed that law comes from the collective will of the people, called Volksgeist, whereas George Friedrich Puchta believed that law is shaped mainly by the will of jurists and legal experts. Role of people. According to Savigny, the people's common will is the real foundation of law, while Puchta gave less importance to the general public. Role of jurists. Savigny limited the role of jurists to discovering existing law, but Puchta considered jurists as active creators and developers of law. Development of law. Savigny said law develops naturally and gradually from social customs, while Puchta believed law becomes systematic and scientific through juristic reasoning. Nature of will. For Savigny, will is social and collective, whereas for Puchta, will is intellectual and juristic. In short, Savigny emphasized the popular will of society, while Puchta emphasized the professional will of jurists in the growth of law. Conclusion. In conclusion, both Friedrich Carl von Savigny and George Friedrich Puchta belonged to the historical school of law and believed that law develops from history and custom rather than sudden legislation. However, they differed mainly on the role of will. Savigny stressed that law is the expression of the collective will of the people, Volksgeist, while Puchta emphasized the juristic will, giving an important role to legal scholars in shaping and systematizing law. Thus, the difference between their theories lies in whose will is considered the main driving force in the development of law, society as a whole in Savigny's view and jurists in Puchta's view.